Oh, hello, my fellow chess enthusiasts. We are back, sitting in front of the 64 squares, and today we will play the Caro Khan against an 1834 from, I believe, Spain. Yes, I know some of my flags. We are in the Caro Khan with the opportunity for the alien gambit on the board. If he captures here, this is what's called the Tartakower. If he challenges us with the alien gambit in a rapid game, I would recommend not playing the alien gambit against me in a rapid game. So generally, if you don't know too much about this position, you sacrifice the knight, but my king sucks, and now I can't castle, and developing this rook becomes a huge problem later in the game. So, one other thing is once a knight or a bishop or something arrives here with check, capturing that piece becomes a problem because when this pawn comes in and dislodges this knight to anywhere, that opens up these squares for the queen. So, with all of that said, the best move is to go ahead and push this pawn forward. You're challenging the center, and if anything happens and the queens see each other, we happily trade off the queens. So make no mistake about it, I am going to be defending for the duration of this video. You can come forward with the bishop, that's totally acceptable, but then he captures and your king comes forward, so you can also just go ahead and push this pawn. There's nothing wrong with that. He hits us with the check. And I believe that it is actually best practice to step back here. He can jump in this way, and then we just simply move the rook. Then it becomes somewhat of a liability along this diagonal. As long as I don't make any huge blunders out of the opening, we are going to be all right. We can also jump forward with this knight and kind of get in the way of this diagonal. And so pretty much my next move, the whole reason of pushing this pawn right here was not necessarily to challenge the center. This is not what we needed to do. This is basically what you could call like not a clearance sacrifice, because I could always capture back, but we're creating a square for the knight, because just getting in the middle is what needs to happen. And so, okay, the knight is forking these pieces. I think I'm just going to step forward with the rook. I'm not even going to really think about it. The rook is attacked. I'm stepping up. If you want to go ahead and grab this, cool. I can step somewhere, preferably off of this diagonal. So if he captures like this, I might step over. And like I said, getting this rook into the game is just going to be absolutely no fun. So that opens up the door to this, which pins this guy. Let's think about this for a second. I like the idea of just getting my queen active. He could then castle. But even like if he jumps back and he captures and I capture back, yes, you get this check. But I think just going ahead and capturing. Sorry if I was silent there for a little bit. I'm trying to think about what I'm supposed to be doing here. I like this. I think he's probably going to just castle. But if we trade the queens, oh dear lord, he's in trouble. So it looks like he wants to give up both pieces. Because this is still defended by the knight. We trade the queens. We grab the bishop. And we've got a little bit of a lag in development. So that's what's going on here. But if you take a look at the position, I basically have an undeveloped knight and an undeveloped bishop for one of these rooks. I only have one rook. And so generally what we need to do is just get my stuff going. And so this knight is almost definitely coming back to this square. My king can no longer castle, but if he castles this way, then it's like a same-side castling situation where I'm actually up material. So immediately he's going for this pawn. I think we're going to just stick to our guns and go ahead and develop this knight. I guess something else to note is dark square bishop versus light square bishop. So he goes for this. I could just jump forward. And if you capture, I capture. I kind of like that. And then he castles. I mean, this gets in the way, but what if he just pushes? Then I step back, he takes us with check. Okay, so I think we might go ahead and develop a pawn. I don't know if that counts as developing. No longer can I put my knight onto this square. I might take the time. I mean, the bishop here seems like a reasonable move. Either the bishop here or here. I don't really know which diagonal is better. This one kind of attacks a pawn if I move the knight. I also probably want to step up off of a dark square just because we got this dark square bishop, and I want to defend this pawn in the center. If I do this, that undefends this guy. So what if I step here? He's probably just going to castle. Not sure that that was a good move, but we are going to just go ahead and play it. Now, I'm not winning or anything, so he did definitely like trade down the exchange. So I still like my position better than I like his position. There was probably a way that I could have played that slightly better. I mean, this seems like just, I need to do something with this knight. What is more important, this knight or getting the rook into the game? I think potentially going for this. And this diagonal is protected, so I can step over here with the rook. That's going to be a way to just simplify. We're not going to allow this check. So how about we just go here? If he captures, we step back with the knight. He attacks again. We step over. Yes. So moving the knight doesn't really work. I can step back here or here, either one of these squares. I'm worried about this one because what if he plays a move like this? I capture, capture. I think we'll be all right. A little bit of a feeble defense, but we're now attacking this pawn. Is just one other thing to look at. So he had to like waste a move to defend that, and now I'm getting closer to bringing my rook to the party. I mean, not my rook. This knight is out of the game. I would like my knight to be in the game. So as long as that's not a blunder, I think we're going to just go ahead and play that. And then we got to start thinking about like what to do. This is going to be not easy to actually win this. So I kind of like this. Threatening the bishop. We threaten the bishop. The bishop needs to stay on this diagonal. We're going for this. The bishop can go back on this diagonal. No, he can't. No, he can't. There's this fork. So he has to stay on this diagonal. So if he tries anything else, so he really has to play this move to protect against this fork. So he has to step back. And oh boy, when your opponent has to step back, so he's going for this. I think that's just a straight up blunder because there's this fork. Correct? And this pawn's not even immediately hanging because I'm going to capture and you need to capture back. So we go ahead and grab this. My pawn is hanging on this side of the board. So for one, I can defend and attack all in one move. And so now, because he didn't resign, I mean, we still do need to win this. So let's push a pawn. The idea is let's not have all of my pawns on dark squares when he has a dark square bishop, and I don't. I mean, that made a hole here. I'm not necessarily sure that's all that important. What if I just step forward? He can attack this, but then I step forward again. I think we're playing this. Capture, capture, and I'm cool with it. All of my valuable stuff is on light squares, so we're going to just capture back. He could go for, like, my pawn. What am I trying to do here? Let's think about what to do. I can't even really get my knight into the action. Is this really the way that I'm... Like, he just pushes forward, no? And then what am I doing? What if I go here, then here? What if I just push? What if I push forward, then step forward? Then this is defended. I actually kind of like that. Kind of breaking my own rule of avoiding putting all of my pawns on dark squares, but I think I'm going to be able to defend it enough. I want to step my king forward. So essentially, like, I'm trying to activate my king. And one move ago, I'm having a hard time moving my king forward in any meaningful way. I kind of want my king, like, right here is what I want. So he goes ahead and he attacks here. I mean, I think I'm okay with this. The check doesn't win anything. I could step over, and if he goes for my pawn, I step over and defend it. So he can be annoying because, like, I don't have anything to directly, I don't have anything to directly get rid of this guy. So we step forward. If he goes for this, gosh darn it, we're going to have to step over somehow and defend against it. What about this? No, it doesn't work. All right. New plan. Knight coming here to then go here. What if I actually am able to start attacking stuff? And not only that, I'm attacking this pawn. This should be a pretty straightforward dub. I've got 3 minutes on the clock. I don't see any way for our opponent to really like come back from this. I mean, does that not just win a pawn? Then I could lock it down. That's a passed pawn, my friend. We're going to push here. He can go for this, but right now my knight is temporarily blocking that. And we can get in for this guy, bro. And I think we will be playing that, and you can resign. Yeah, like, what are you going to do? This is a passed pawn for one, and I'm going to get this other one. And so, really, the way we won that game is I play the Alien Gambit in fast time controls. Like, if I'm playing a lower-rated opponent in a fast time control, I go for it. Or in a bullet game, I'll play it against anybody. But when your opponent is rated 1800, 1835 is my rating. So he should see that, and we're playing a 10-minute game of chess. He should just simply avoid the Alien Gambit. It's not great in long, like, time controls, okay? And so, how accurate was that? I think maybe I'm quite proud of that game. Maybe I should be a chess YouTuber or something. And so let's take this. We're going to minimize this. Where's my Lichess? A little bit of behind the scenes. This is how you do it if you want to, like, do the analysis. You go to Tools, Import Game. We copied the PNG, Tools, Import Game. We copied it with the timestamp, so we're going to just paste it right there. We want the computer analysis, and we're going to import the game. Then I'm going to change my scenes real quick. Here I am. Hopefully everything works out. And then, what are we doing here? I wanted to see my accuracy. We'll turn the engine on. And we got to flip this around now. Let's get that. Bada boom, bada bing. So this right here is what he should play. This is what is called the Tartakower. Kaboom, kaboom. Let's fix this camera tad a little bit. This is a structure that is a lot of fun to play, and it's super easy for black. But it's also good for white. So if you ever make it this far in the exchange variation, Caro-Kann, or whatever this is called, you capture here. Going for this basically signifies I'm going to attack you, and you're going to go for the Alien Gambit. And in this position, it's more or less like equal. It's pretty hard to play in a blitz game or even a bullet game. Being minus 1.9 is not actually true. It's an incredibly hard to defend position. But right here, all you got to know, push this pawn, bro. Because it's not about pushing the pawn. It's about you need this knight. This knight needs to partake in the game. And if you don't, it gets really hard to play. So you have to make this pawn push. They give the check. You push the pawn. You step back. And I guess I'm supposed to just give up the rook, but it's probably about equal. Oh, no, it's actually a little bit better for white that I stepped up. Gave him some chances because it's like a tempo-winning move. He put a knight on my side of the board, and I made a move that didn't really do anything, so he can bring another piece to the party. So, okay, you're supposed to just straight up give up the rook and say, okay, you gave up 2 knights for my rook. And this rook wasn't really going to be able to partake in the game anyway, at least for a bunch of moves. And so, boom, 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 we capture, 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 and we just simplified. Boom, we just simplified. And now, like I explained in the video, we're in a position where I have a bishop and a knight for your rook. And I have a rook for this rook, or however you want to look at it. This rook and this rook. I got the 2 pieces, which is actually really good to have a bishop and a knight against the rook. I would prefer to have the knight and the bishop because they can both have different jobs. If you have like 2 knights or 2 bishops versus a rook, arguably the 2 bishops is better, but I like having a knight and a bishop. It is really hard to defend because you can have something like your bishop here defending this, and then your knight just like runs around the board attacking stuff. And so we make some moves. what's the best move here? This, okay, it's saying it's not a great move, but it simplifies the position. Like I said, either move is fine, but I chose this one. I guess it's slightly less preferable because it's on a dark square and he's got a dark square bishop. But whatever. We bring the knight. We step over here attacking some stuff. And then right here, best move is to attack the bishop because then he's got to get out of here. And then I get the fork. And it's better because I got my knight one step closer. So I see, but they're interchangeable. All of this worked. We start trading off some stuff. The more pawns that we trade, the better because eventually we're going to be able to make a passed pawn somewhere. We step back, trade, capture. I now have a passed pawn in the position. Let's scoot this bad boy up a little bit. And we step in, immediately going for the weakness. You did all these pawn trades on this side of the board. Now you have a weakness, and I'm going to take it. And so, dang, I don't really think I made an inaccuracy by keeping the rook. And if it wasn't super clear, the way that this game is going to essentially end is he does something with the king, I take, and then move the bishop literally anywhere, boom, and then these guys just start going. I'm going to make a queen, and then he's going to have to trade the bishop for one of them or both of them or whatever, but then I have extra pieces. And so it's a +9, plus 6.9 position. Let's check how accurate. 97% accurate. Bro, that is a good game of chess. Wow, I'm proud of myself for that one. I knew it was accurate. I just didn't think it was really that accurate. So, wow. So that's good for everybody that watched because that means everything that I explained, I understood. I understood the position quite well. My 2 inaccuracies, moving the rook, I guess I was going to lose it later, but keeping the rook is never really a bad move. You don't need to just give up the rook. And then what's the other one? Taking with the pawn is better. By actually a considerable amount, a whole pawn difference. Why is that not good? Because he doesn't have to move the bishop yet? I was going to go for something like this. Like, not immediately, but, oh, never mind, completely equal. I was thinking about this for a second. Maybe I would have thought about it, but I was thinking, okay, maybe we can get this bishop to take something and move, and we trade the queens that way. So, 2 inaccuracies. More or less a perfect game of chess. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the Alien Gambit, this is how you defend against it. And so, generally, I think every single move that I played in the beginning was like more or less the top engine line. Top, 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 not the top, not the top. But okay, I played pretty well. So, thank you so much for watching. If you learned anything or simply enjoyed watching me play chess, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000, and it is impossible. So, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Quite proud of myself for that one. See you in another one.